Hello, my name is Asafa from Asafa Tutorial Center. Today we will see what's the difference between positive and normative economic analysis and inductive and deductive economic analysis. So, if you're new for this channel, don't miss making of like and copy link and share and subscribe. So let us to start. What kind of economic analysis is positive economic analysis? So economists can analyze economy either by using positive economic analysis or normative economic analysis. So positive economic analysis means simply analyzing of economy based on fact. Okay, based on objective is called positive economic analysis. Due to this reason, analyzing of economy based on the fact is called positive economic analysis. Analyzing of economy based on objective is called positive economic analysis. And analyzing of economy based on logic is called positive economic analysis. Therefore, positive economic analysis simply tries to answer three basic economic questions: what was, what is, and what will be. Don't miss this point. Therefore, let us see one mathematical example or statement for positive economic statement. Current inflation rate of Ethiopia is 50%. The poverty and unemployment are biggest problem in Ethiopia. The life expectancy at the birth rate of Ethiopia is rising. Are some examples of positive economic analysis. Okay, positive economic analysis. Normative economic analysis, analyzing of economy based on opinion or judgment is called normative economic analysis. Okay, normative economic analysis, simple analyzing of economy based on what? Based on logic. Okay, based on opinion, not logic. Based on judgment is called normative economic analysis. Okay, normative economic analysis. Then these types of economic analysis is tries to answer four basic economic questions: what should be, what could be, what ought to be, what would be. Are basic economic question which will be answered by normative economic statement. Okay, normative economics. Therefore, under this economics, we can list number of economic statements. The first one is poor people should not be taxed. Okay, there is no need for intervention of the government within the economy. Female ought to be given job opportunity. Are some examples of normative economic analysis. Therefore, any policymakers must identify what's the difference between normative and positive economic analysis. Then analyzing of economy based in fact and objective is called positive economic analysis, we said before. And it is fact-based economy. It tries to answer three basic economic questions: what was, what is, what will be. What will be, sir? Try to answer in positive economics. Normative economics, simply, it is a type of economics that analyze economy based on opinion, based on the judgment, is called normative economic analysis. So under this economic analysis, we are trying to answer four basic economic questions: what should be, what could be, what ought to be. So these are the main difference between normative and positive economic analysis. Then other is what is inductive and deductive reasoning. In economics, there are two types of logical reasoning: inductive and deductive logical reasoning. Inductive means simply analyzing of economy from particular to general or theory to fact is called inductive economic analysis, or analyzing of economy from fact to theory to the model to the law to the policy is called inductive economic analysis. So under this economic analysis, there are three stages. The first stage must be selecting of the problem. What problem I want us to address. Okay. Then the second one, collecting and collection of the data, classification of the data, and analyzing of the data. So without collecting the data, we cannot analyze the data from the particular to general. Then the last is establishing of cause and effect relationship between economic phenomena or economic variables are the three basic steps in inductive economic analysis. Then deductive economic analysis, simply analyzing of economy from general to particular or the whole to particular or specific is called deductive economic analysis. Don't miss this point. Okay, analyzing of economy from what to what? From general to particular. Particular is called deductive economic analysis. Therefore, under this deductive economic analysis, there are four main steps. The first step, we must understand problem of identification. Without problem, we cannot analyze economy either to particular to general or general to the particular. Due to this reason, we must identify what problem I want to address. The problem identification. The second one, specification of what? Assumption. Then formulating of hypothesis. Then the fourth one is testing of the validity of the hypothesis. The basic steps which will be understand in deductive reasoning. Okay, deductive reasoning. Therefore, deductive reasoning simply analyze economy from what? Policy to model policy to law, law to model, model to theory, theory to fact. Okay, this is the reason we can conclude that analyzing of economy from general to particular is called deductive economic analysis, and analyzing of economy from particular to general is called inductive economic analysis. This is the reason, put in your mind what's the main difference between deductive and inductive. In inductive, simple analyzing of economy from what to what? Very specific view of point to general view of point. That means from the fact to theory, or theory to model, model to what? Law, law to policy is called inductive. The deductive, simple analyzing of economy from general to particular. That means from the policy we have developed law, from the law we develop model, from the model we can develop what? Theory, from the theory we can develop we can develop fact. So this is the main difference between inductive and deductive economic analysis. The other is what the concept of scarcity. Scarcity simply shows imbalance between your wants and means to satisfy those wants, don't miss this point. And limited supply of resources in the market is called scarcity. So in other hand, scarcity does not mean that shortage. So shortage is very short-term problem, scarcity is very long-term problem, and scarcity is very general universal problem. Shortage is very short-term problem. So in economic concept, scarcity does not mean that what? Shortage, okay? Shortage. Therefore, scarcity, we can conclude that it's the imbalance between your wants and means to satisfy. Those wants is called scarcity, and limited supply of resources in the market is called scarcity. And shortage is simply temporal problem and not universal problem. And specific problem in current situation of economy is called shortage. So we can classify a resource into two resources. The first one is free resource and economic resource. What kind of resource is free and what kind of resource is economic? Free resource means the type of resource which is gifted by the nature and availability of resource is greater than their desiredness. That type of resource is called free resource. Then the type of resource which is not given by the nature and availability of resource is less than their desiredness within the economy is called scarce resource. Okay, scarce resource. Put in your mind. There are two main types of resource. The first one is free resource. The second one is economic resource. Free resource is the type of resource which is gifted by the nature and availability of resource greater than their desiredness. We are not paying for any price for the free resource like sunlight, like air. We can use without any payment is called free resource. Scarce resource is a type of resource which availability of resource is less than their desiredness within the economy is called scarce resource or economic resource. So economic resource we can classify into four categories. The first one is labor. We can say that labor. The second one is what? Capital. The third one is entrepreneurship and land. Okay. Labor simply is the surface of the earth. Okay. Labor is simply the surface of the earth that carries renewable and non-renewable resources called land. Labor is simply physical and mental talent of the human being in production process is called labor. Don't miss point. Labor is simply physical and mental talent or human capital in production process is called labor. So what's the reward for labor? Reward for labor is what? Wage. Land is simply the surface of the earth that carries either renewable or non-renewable resource is called land. Therefore, reward for land is what? Rain. Capital simply it is machineries or equipments or tools which are used to produce some certain product is called capital. Therefore, reward for capital is interest rate. Then entrepreneurship is special talent of the human being, which is to organize, which is to manage, which is to distribute a given factors of production is called entrepreneurship. So what's the reward for entrepreneurship? Profit. Therefore, when we conclude that capital resource or economic resource we can classify into four categories. The first one is labor, land, capital, entrepreneurship. Labor is a simply physical and mental talent of the human being in production process is called labor. Reward for labor is wage. Land is simply the surface of the earth that carries either renewable or non-renewable resources is called land. So reward for land is rent. Capital is simply it is equipment or tools or machineries or which is to produce some certain product is called capital. Reward for capital is interest rate. Entrepreneurship is simply special talent of the human being, which is to manage, which is to organize, which is to distribute a given factor. So the production is called entrepreneurship. So reward for entrepreneurship is called profit. Therefore, sometimes those economic resources we can say that what? Factors of production. Therefore, these are basic points which will be discussed today's video. So if you have any question, any suggestion, any comment, please put your comment or suggestion or question in comment section. Thank you very much.